Kenny. An unusual pairing, certainly, with tradition on Kilkenny's side, but Dublin were well worth their win over Offaly and they were very hopeful of taking that title this afternoon. Well, let's see how it worked out. The commentator is Marty Morrissey and he's joined by Eamon Cregan.
A great festival atmosphere in Croke Park for this year's Leinster Hurling final. 1961 was the last time Dublin were crowned Leinster champions, and they bridge a 30-year gap. Lara Foley and his co-selectors announced a team with only one change from the side that dethroned Leinster and National League champions Offaly in the semi-final. Seamus Morgan gets the call-up to the first 15 and is placed at full forward beside Brian McMahon and Sean McDermott. How full-back Brian Kelleher copes with Christy Heffernan and the half-back line of Shea Boland, John Toomey and Shea Fleming perform may ultimately decide who wins the championship. For MJ Ryan, today is very special. A former Kilkenny hurler, he has now been playing for his adopted county for 5 years. A good performance by him, and Dublin could be celebrating. It's been 4 years since Kilkenny people celebrated the Leinster Championship title success, and there is undoubtedly an air of quiet confidence in the Kilkenny camp. The long wait is over. Kilkenny selectors make several alterations to the side that beat Wexford in the dying seconds. Eddie O'Connor did very well when introduced as a substitute and retains his position at cornerback. Bill Hennessy replaces the injured Liam Walsh at right back, while in the attack, DJ Carey and Adrian Ronan are on the wings. Christy Heffernan returns to full forward, and Liam McCarthy gets the number 15 jersey. The hero, unquestionably, for Kilkenny in the semi-final was DJ Carey. His performance that day had the extra touch of class, a display no doubt noted by the Dublin selectors. Referee Dickie Murphy from Enniscorthy starts the 1991 Leinster Hurling final. Dublin playing from right to left. An early score would be a great boost, but that in fact goes just to the right and wide. Brian McMahon a little bit unlucky. Fine lengthy puck out by Michael Walsh. Well done there by John Murphy. MJ Ryan and Pat O'Dwyer. What a tussle that's going to be this afternoon. Pat O'Dwyer being hooked by MJ Ryan. And this is MJ. Cutting through Kilkenny defence, sending it in low in towards Brian McMahon. Can he get a hurley to it? Michael Walsh bravely. And Kilkenny survive thanks to Liam Simpson. MJ Ryan has the audacity to pick it up amongst 3 Kilkenny players. Referee allowing advantage. Eventually it comes out to Liam Simpson. It's hard-hitting stuff after just 1 minute of play. Adrian Ronan sending it over to his old schoolmate DJ Carey. Well read, however, by Shea Fleming. Well blocked down by Carey. Goalkeeper Damien Byrne escorting it out over the line. The early chances falling to Dublin. Murty Ryan, a marvellous pull into Michael Walsh. Playing this Leinster final with a broken nose. So determined are the Kilkenny hurlers. Marvellous feeling by John Toomey, and he gets the free. And certainly must be said, Eamon, that Dublin are starting confidently.
They are indeed. What they're basically doing is they're letting the ball do the work, moving the ball fast into the forward, but the way they're playing, the full forward should stay in around the square. He's too far out when the ball goes in, and that was just a case in point there when Michael Walsh saved the ball.
John Toomey, the Erin's Isle club in Finglas, are really getting behind it. Comes out to Michael Phelan, sending it down towards Eamon Morrissey, getting his first touch of a Leinster final. And that too tails to the left and wide. So 2 wides for Kilkenny and 1 wide for Dublin. Full back Brian Kelleher taking the puck out. It's a long one. Pulled down by Joey Morris. Up towards Brian McMahon. Liam Simpson just getting it out. Shea Boland is there. Very prominent in the early stages. Left half back Tommy Fogarty. The only James Stephens man actually on the first 15 for the black and amber. Liam McCarthy. Good ball over to DJ Carey. This is where he's most dangerous. Sending it across to Christy Heffernan. Just the touch wasn't as sharp as normal. It comes back to Carey. Well blocked down, still Carey. Two Dublin players on him. Damien Byrne is there, and the Metropolitan survive. But DJ Carey just showing the danger he could well pose for Dublin. Here's Sean Kearns. Pulled on by his colleague John Murphy. Sean McDermott getting it up towards Joey Morris. Break comes to MJ Ryan. The first score perhaps. Yes! Dublin are on their way. MJ Ryan, after 8.5 minutes of play, puts the ball over the bar.
Tremendous work by the Dublin defence there, and cleared up field, and a good ball out to MJ Ryan. He scored a very good point.
See, Boland there just losing his footing. Adrian Ronan with an opportunity to level the match, and Damien Byrne quite happily seeing it go out over the line. That's 4 wides now for Kilkenny after 17 minutes of play.
Actually, I think what either team needs at the moment is for some experienced player to slow the game down a little bit, and for the players to steady up and take their chances, because there are too many balls going wide. The one thing I'm worried about the Dublin full forward line is they're coming out far too much. They're out 45 to 60 yards, and when the ball goes in, there's nobody inside.
Richie Parr sending it back up towards Eamon Morrissey. Tommy McKeown just getting an accidental knock in the process. And Shea Boland giving it away rather silly. John Parr. And yet again another wide. So Tommy McKeown just receiving an accidental knock there as he was battling for the ball with Eamon Morrissey. A very wonderful, beautiful afternoon here in Croke Park. Very warm actually, and certainly enjoying this Leinster final so far. Right into the middle. Tommy Fogarty coming in to challenge Sean Kearns. Sending it up towards Seamus Markin. John Henderson going back to gather. And a rather rough challenge by the Dublin full forward. Free given to Kilkenny. Two Kilkenny players going up for it. John Toomey leaving it to John Murphy. Intercepted by Michael Phelan. Now, can Tish do something? Giving it to John Parr. And John Locks and Callan, and the sides are level. It took 19.5 minutes for Kilkenny to score, and this man is the one who levels proceedings. Brian Kelleher. Well gathered by Michael Phelan again. Very nice ball to John Parr. Can he do it again? Yes! 2 points in a row in the space of 60 seconds. And he has put Kilkenny into the lead. And maybe those 2 points by John Parr may well settle Kilkenny and get Dublin into the action as well.
I think it will, because John Power has moved from the centre forward position now towards the wing, and he got one particular pass for the second point and scored a beautiful point.
DJ Carey picking up the break up towards Christy Heffernan. Possibly fouling Colin McGillon in the process. Giving an insight to Adrian Ronan. Yes! Unstoppable. Adrian Ronan from Bridge, Ballycallan puts Kilkenny firmly in the driving seat. Puck out quickly taken. It comes to Shea Fleming. Sends a ball up towards Seamus Morkin, who gets a hurley to it but goes out over the line. Well, down at the Dublin goal mouth, the Dublin player received a knock in the process there.
Well, beautiful ball from Adrian Ronan, which was hand passed into the corner forward, and he buried the ball in the back of the net. Bad slack marking by the Dublin defence, but Christy Heffernan broke the ball clear and was the reason for that goal.
Well, Tommy McKeown received a leg injury earlier And I think that last particular accident will see Tommy McKeown going off. He looks to be rather badly injured there. And coming in for Dublin is Kieran O'Brien from the Fawkes Club, and he will take up left cornerback position. John Carr beginning to settle at centre half forward and posing problems for Dublin.
Yes, Marty, John Power is beginning to motor now, and he caught that ball very well. And John Toomey need to stop him from catching those high balls coming in, because it's around John Power that the Kilkenny forward line is going to move.
So DJ Carey with his second attempt at raising a white flag, and once again fails to do so, rather surprisingly. Adrian Ronan, lovely skill. Beautiful play. Sending it in towards Christy Heffernan. Eamon Morrissey, Kieran O'Brien, Damien Bird, good save. It's going to be a testing time for Kieran O'Brien. A big task to come in at left cornerback and mark Eamon Morrissey.
Yes, this is a high ball coming in. And again, Eamon Morrissey gets it. Kieran O'Brien is in trouble, and the goalkeeper makes a tremendous save.
DJ Carey sending it straight over the bar. Very good point for DJ, and establishes Kilkenny leads. John Murphy, Seamus Morgan, very far out from the Kilkenny post. Shawnee McDermott. And Michael Walsh underneath it has the confidence to gather and send it back up towards Adrian Ronan. John Toomey. His performance at centre half back will be very important for Dublin. It's Colin McGuillan's drive, and the right corner back with an absolutely brilliant point. Colin McGuillan from Cola, a great boost to the Dublin confidence. So Dublin just get a little bit closer. 2 points to Kilkenny's 1-3. Dublin showed great heart in the semi-final after conceding a soft score to Offaly.
Yes.
I'm sure their spirit will be tested again here.
It's going to be tested, because this is a time now where they can't afford to panic. If they panic, they're going to be in serious trouble. And that was a tremendous point from the cornerback O'Gillan. It was a beautiful point, and I think it'll keep Dublin in it.
Great drive by John Toomey. MJ Ryan, and it's gone over the bar. If ever Dublin needed a point, it was now. And incredibly, they now just trail by that goal. So good thinking by MJ Ryan, brings Dublin a little bit closer. And here come the Dubs once again. It's a good ball, breaks inside to Seamus Morgan. And he just couldn't keep his balance and just got a hurley to it to send it just to the wrong side of the post. I think the point you were making earlier, Eamon, is quite true. I think they need a little bit more fire, a little bit more penetration in that full forward line. Eamon Morrissey, DJ Carey has gone inside, making an angle for himself. Did he judge it right? No.
It's interesting to note, Marty, that Brian McMahon has gone in full forward and Seamus Martin has gone left corner. But again, there should be two inside and one out. You know,
it's interesting, as you say that at the far end, Ollie Walsh is coming in to change his full back, John Henderson back into the number 3 position. Here comes Sean Kearns. Dublin continue to come forth. Joey Morris. It looks like it's going on target because the Hill are alive with blue flags. It's a great response by Dublin. Now just 2 points between the sides, 1-3 to 4 points. Oh, well gathered, John Murphy. Giving it back to Shea Boland. And Dublin continue to play with confidence. The break inside comes to Sean McDermott. He's Sean Markham to his left, and Michael Walsh is down. Seamus Markham switching it across, blocked by John Henderson. MJ Ryan! Off the post, back in again! And Michael Walsh, incredible stuff! And they say there are no footballers in Kilkenny. Well, if Dublin ever needed to rattle the back of the net, they needed it there. Several players making basic mistakes. Liam McCarthy, half blocked down by Colin McGillon. Brian Kelleher giving it out to John Toomey. It's hot and very hot. Half blocked down, comes back out to Liam McCarthy. That pressure that Eamon Cregan was talking about, that nervousness, very evident in the Dublin defence. They paid the penalty for it because that's John Parr's third point. Very silly by Dublin, Eamon.
Yes, they had a chance there to clear, but unfortunately again panic set in under pressure, and they did the wrong thing.
So at half-time, that point by John Parr means that Kilkenny go in 1 goal in front. Dublin playing against that slight wind in the second half, trailing by just 1 goal. So will the Dublin full forward line stay in a little bit deeper and cause a few more problems for the Kilkenny defence? Bertie Ryan. Bill Hennessy doing very well. Not falling for any tricks by Murty. Getting it down to Eamon Morrissey. Kieran O'Brien staying with him. And still Eamon Morrissey battles away. Break comes to John Parr. Floored unquestionably by John Toomey. And Kilkenny have the opportunity to get the very first score of the second half. DJ Carey sending it over the bar. His second point of the afternoon, 1 from a 65 and 1 from a free. Four points between the sides. Joey Morris, John Henderson. Getting it down past Pat O'Dwyer, back to Joey Morris. Tommy Fogarty. Morris getting the break. Comes to Brian McMahon. Half blocked down by Pat O'Dwyer, back to McMahon. Now, can he create something? It's not a bad ball at all. Comes across to Shawnee McDermott, getting inside Eddie O'Connor. Going down, and the free is going to be on the 20-metre line, dead straight in front of the post. So MJ Ryan looking at the target. And happy to take his point. His third of this Leinster hurling final. Well pulled on by Richie Parr, and again John Toomey intercepting, and a ball directed at nobody. Rather silly waste of possession once again. Tommy Fogarty cutting neatly. Comes down to Sean Kearns. Dublin by no means out of this Leinster final. Bertie Ryan, good pull. Down towards Liam Simpson. Dispossessed by Seamus Markham. Eddie O'Connor. Great bundle of stuff at right cornerback. Hold on to my hat, says Pat O'Dwyer. Comes to Richie Parr. Colin McGillon. Shea Boland to John Toomey over to the far side. Sean Kearns running with all his might. And that's going to be, I think, a line ball. Which way it's going to go is anybody's guess. And I have a funny feeling it's going to be a throw ball. Murty Ryan. Michael Phelan pulling at it towards Christy Heffernan. Good play by Brian Kelleher. First to the ball. It's an old cliche, it's an old motto, but it's a great one. Adrian Ronan. Back in towards Eamon Morrissey, where he's most dangerous. Half blocked down by Colin McGillan and Damien Byrne under pressure from Liam McCarthy. Oh, well done. Brian Kelleher. Splendid play by the fullback. Break inside comes to MJ Ryan. His class will unquestionably be required in the second half. Line ball for Dublin. Now, can MJ Ryan drop it in over Michael Walsh's crossbar? Well gathered by Sean Kearns. He's inside the area. Can he get a hurley to it? Still Sean Kearns. Comes off to Johnny McDermott. Goal for Dublin. Shawnee, the hero of the hill. Dublin are in business in Croke Park.
Yes, indeed, it's something that Dublin needed all along. A tremendous interception here by the full-back Brendan Kelleher, and the ball came down the field. And here it is again. Ball is broken in. John Kearns pushes it, breaks out. Corner forward, Sean McDermott buries it in the back of the net. Tremendous goal for Dublin, and they're back in this game with a bang.
Shea Boland, Adrian Ronan trying to pick up the break, fails. Comes to Michael Phelan. Colin McGillan out of position. Liam McCarthy punishes the mistake. It's the first time really that Colin McGillan was out of position, and I think he knows it. But a good score by Liam McCarthy. John Henderson, straight out the middle. Eamon Morrissey. Kilkenny have adopted him as their third midfielder. Adrian Ronan, Shea Boland just slipping at the wrong time. He gives Ronan the opportunity, and he's taken it perfectly. A very good point for Adrian Ronan. Break comes out towards Mick Clare. John Toomey going to get there first, but dispossessed by John Parr. Getting it inside to Liam McCarthy. It has plenty of distance, and it goes straight over Damien Byrne's crossbar. Two very valuable points for Kilkenny. So 2 points once again between the sides. Brian Hennessy. Adrian Ronan, Colin McGillan, and Liam McCarthy beginning to pose a problem for Dublin. Adrian Ronan driving it in low. Michael Phelan, of course, gave it to Adrian Ronan, and it was Adrian to put it over the bar. Another very important point. Placing of TJ Carey a corner forward is probably a good move. Much more dangerous near goal. Johnny McDermott, the goal scorer, trying to get it into Kieran Heatherton. Eddie O'Connor. Colin McGillan. This is John Parr. In search of Christy Heffernan, the captain. Waiting for support. The support is in the form of Michael Phelan. Colin McGillan chasing after him, going for goal. Oh, what a save by Damien Byrne, and he still has it, and it's Shea Fleming that comes across. That's a brilliant save by Damien Byrne. If that doesn't inspire his colleagues, nothing will. Mick Clare taking the 65. Dangerous ball, and Byrne is underneath it once again. Good play by the Dublin goalkeeper. Two substitutes, Mick Clare and Kieran Heatherton. And the referee and linesman decide that it is a Dublin ball.
Yes, here goes centre field is going through, Phelan is going through, he takes a shot, a tremendous save by the goalkeeper, he blocks it again, he lies close to the ball, and the ball is then cleared by the left half back. A great save by Damien Byrne.
gliding it in gently. Liam Simpson, good clearance, comes out to Joey Morris. And that is a very good point again by Joey Morris. The O'Toole's man has scored 2 points. Each of them important and crucial. Richie Power to DJ Carey. Beautiful start. A master craftsman at the age of 20. Liam McCarthy. Half blocked down. Shea Boland. Adrian Ronan pulling on it. Comes to Christy Heffernan. Pass really aimed at nobody. And Adrian goes back to collect. Richie Power. Blocked down by Kieran Heatherton. To John Murphy. Now, can Dublin do something up here? Brian McMahon, John Henderson. Liam Simpson has all the time to gather and execute a good clearance. DJ Carey. Shea Fleming after him. DJ going through. And Damien Byrne out from 65. An incredible miss by DJ and a wonderful save by Damien Byrne.
Yes, indeed. I tell you, Damien Byrne is worth his salt. He's had it, I don't know what you call it, a bag of gold today, because he has saved Dublin time and time again. Because here it comes again. DJ Carey is going through, running through, backman, losing the backman, takes his shot, hits it, and Damien Byrne sticks out his leg.
Dropping it in, aimed at Christy Heffernan. Comes to Adrian Ronan. Busy, like a bee, around the goal mouth. And yet another point for Adrian Ronan. He is playing very well in this Kilkenny attack. Kilkenny selectors have just taken off Richie Power, got on Leinster Ryan. As Dublin have just 3 minutes left and 4 points between the sides. Michael Walsh coming out together, goes out over the end line, and that's a 65.
I'm a little bit surprised with Richie Power been taking off, because at this stage Kilkenny need experience and they're taking off the experienced men, you know, but maybe he's running short on legs. His legs are running out.
Kieran Heatherton.
Great score.
Great score. A simple pass from John Toomey to Kieran Heatherton and over the bar. Back to 3 points between the sides. Two minutes left and 3 points between the sides. Can Dublin rally and get the vital touch, and above all else, the vital possession? They have it. Joey Morris. Shawnee McDermott and Eddie O'Connor. Runs on to Brian McMahon. Comes back out to Kieran Heatherton. Gives it inside to Shawnee McDermott. Sean Kearns gone inside. Brian McMahon loose. This is Sean Kearns. Referee waves play on, and he puts it over the bar. Now, 2 points between the sides in the Leinster final. His first point of the afternoon. Can Dublin get possession? John Power. Tailing to the right and wide. And he's totally disgusted. Quick puck out. Comes down to MJ Ryan. And all of Dublin seem to get excited the minute he anyway goes near the ball. Referee blows the whistle for a chop there by Lester Ryan. And it's a free in for Dublin. And John Power hesitant to give John Toomey the free, or the slither at least. And it's now or nothing for Dublin. John Toomey is the man that has to decide. It's dropping in around. And Michael Walsh dives in vain. But the umpire had his eye on it all the way. and all of Kilkenny are relieved.
I thought it was a 65, I thought he saved it.
It certainly looked like it come up here. The umpire seemed to be adamant.
Yes, here's John Toomey, low ball, coming in. Coming in. Yes,
And the ref,
there's no doubt in my mind. I think he said.
and it's all in vain because the referee has blown the full-time whistle, not allowing very much extra time for injuries or anything like that. So Kilkenny have won the Leinster title for the first time since 1987. A match that we expected a lot more of, but was a match that unquestionably Dublin had always the ability to pull it out of the fire and win it. But in the end, Kilkenny took their opportunities and won by 2 points. The final score, Kilkenny 113, Dublin 111. So Christy Heffernan, the captain from Glenmore, receives the Leinster Championship trophy from Jimmy Gray for the first time since 1987.
I suppose looking at it, it wasn't one of our most impressive performances, but at least, you know, we weren't going well, but we stuck with the task. And, you know, Adrian and some of the boys that took the vital scores. And, you know, we were very lucky, too, that we didn't concede a goal very near the end, and it could have been all so different. But the hallmark of the team, I think, is that it's sticking to its task. I mean, we were in a difficult situation against Wexford here about 3 weeks ago, and we came through in the end again, and today again we were in a tricky situation and we still came through. So I think that's the hallmark. It mightn't be a traditional Kilkenny skill, but we won, and that's all that counts.
One thing that must be worrying to Kilkenny selectors is the fact that it took you over 19 minutes to get a score.
Well, that's right, but I think that's a bit quicker than we scored the last day. I think it was a bit longer the last day, so we're improving, you know. But then again, Kilkenny selectors are always worried, you know. It's part of the job.
We are very disappointed. We thought we had the win of the game. It was a tight match, and we thought with just a bit of luck we would have taken the result.
There was a certain amount of uneasiness, and while you settled reasonably well, you made some rather silly mistakes and gave scores away.
Yeah, we gave some scores away, but I thought that we harassed well out throughout the field. I thought we were a lot fitter than Kilkenny, and I just thought that we would have had a little bit more luck on our side.
It's been a remarkable year for you personally because you only came on to the Dublin senior hurling team this year.
That's right, yeah, it's been a great year for me. I've enjoyed every moment of it. It's terrible to be beaten. I would have loved to have gone on another bit, but that's the game of hurling for you.
You scored 1-3 today, but that goal was a very important one for Kilkenny.
Maybe at the time we were, I think, 19 minutes again we scored in the first half. We had missed a lot. Personally, myself, I had missed 2 chances. And it was just, I think a ball came down from the wing. As Lee McCarthy, all credit goes to him. He found me with a great pass, and he gave me the simplest attack to score a goal. I mean, if I had to miss it, I'd been shot.
We worked so hard for this one. You know, we thought last year it was a bit of a day out more so than anything else. We went out and lacked a bit of experience before we knew what happened. The hour was gone and we were beaten. Where this year we had trained, we had a little bit more experience, and you know, we knew we were in with a good chance. You know, we knew our hurling had to come right at the right time. But I suppose, like many finals and many matches, they're won and lost on one puck of a ball.
Dublin were a little bit unlucky in the first half because that ball that came off the crossbar, Michael Walsh then saved it. It was a turning point really for Dublin.
Certainly, you know, I mean, if that ball had gone in, who knows, you know. It was dreadfully unlucky from their point of view, and then from our point of view, you know, we got the rub of the green at the right time, which is vital. But I'd have to give credit to Mickey too, you know, that's what he's there for. And I mean, if he didn't go back in the line, it would have been in the net. So, I mean, fair play to him, he had no hurl. It's a great save, you know.
So Kilkenny are back in the big time now, All-Ireland semi-final.
Well, we're back in an All-Ireland semi-final. You're never in the big time until you've produced the goods and have the cup in September.
Well, John Henderson, as always, to the point and humorous with it. Marty Morrissey was there with a post-match reaction. Shortly afterwards, he spoke to Eamon Cregan. He got his analysis and his nominee as man of the match in the Leinster hurling final.
Not very impressed with Kilkenny's performance, and speaking to John Henderson afterwards, he says they have a lot of work to do, and I think they have a lot of work to do, but at least they know they have a lot of work to do at this stage. Dublin, unlucky, very unlucky.
Oh, just concentrate on Dublin for a moment. What are they going to have to do to win a Leinster Championship?
The one thing that I think they should concentrate on is striking. They've got to be able to strike and strike well. Now, they have improved their striking a lot, but they started off playing a lot of ground hurling, and I think if they go back to that type of game and play the ball fast into the forwards,
they're going to do well. But it means the full forward line must stay inside around the goals, and you can't afford to have just one fella in about 15 yards out and the other two corner forwards 45, 50 yards out and the ball inside. That's not going to help, because Michael Walsh was able to clear with no one near him, and that's not good enough. But I think Lar Foley has done a tremendous job at Dublin. Remember, they didn't win any matches in the league this year, and still they got to the Leinster final and very nearly pipped Kilkenny. In the last minute, a ball came in from a 70 or a 65. I thought was deflected out for a 65, but the umpire said wide. And you know, these are the things that went against Dublin today.
What of Kilkenny? I mean, they promised so much in the league and then they faded. They have played 2 championship matches. They got a goal in the dying seconds through DJ Carey. They did not perform well, and yet they're Leinster champions.
Well, tradition says a lot for that. You know, Kilkenny did not play well. Their striking to me today was poor. I know that's unusual for Kilkenny, because I like their style of play. They have a lovely style of brand of hurling, and I think the young lads were overawed by the occasion today. DJ Carey didn't get into the game. Adrian Ronan came in in fits and bursts. You know, they're going to improve. There's no doubt about that. They'll have to improve. Now they're playing Antrim, and they'll have to improve for them.
Now, nobody really caught the eye in the Kilkenny team, or indeed in the Dublin team, but there were a few fine individual performances.
There were some tremendous individual performances on the Dublin team. In the Kilkenny team, there were players played in starts and bursts. John Power played well for a while, then he faded. But in the Dublin side, you had the full back played very well, Kelleher played well. You had the right half forward played extremely well. But my man of the match was the goalkeeper. And there was one particular tremendous save that he had in the second half, which saved Dublin time and time again, and he cleared the ball. And for that, I award him man of the match.
Well, no glory for Dublin's hurlers today, but nonetheless a fine performance by Damien Byrne, our Telecom Éireann man of the match.
For the Munster